Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to USTA Florida's Here to Serve podcast. Happy New Year. It's January 2023, and we are so excited to have a whole new set of podcasts to deliver for you this year. Thank you for tuning in. And we're going to kick things off this year with three of my members of my leadership team here, and we're going to talk about what's in store for the first quarter of the year. So joining me today is Christine Ducey, our Director of Adult Tennis. Thank you, Christine, for joining us.
My pleasure.
We have Jason Gilbert, our Director of Youth Tennis. Thank you, JG, for joining the podcast.
Always a pleasure.
And Danielle Gooding, our Director of Community Tennis. Thank you, Danielle, for joining me again on the podcast.
Thank you, Laura.
Okay. So before we dive into our sneak peek at what's in store for the next few months, I would like to ask each of you to share one of your favorite Florida tennis moments of 2022. And Danielle, I'm going to start with you.
Oh gosh. So thank you, Laura. I actually have two, but I'll pick one. I'd have to say the state games, the Special Olympics state games in May. We had to cancel during COVID, and we had the state games the next year. But I feel this year was the first time where we had everyone back. We didn't have some teams that didn't come and compete. So it was great to have a full roster of teams, and just the joy and all the athletes' faces, just being able to showcase everything that they've been training for was fantastic. So that's my one memory from 2022.
Great choice. And I'm glad I could be part of that memory and share it because I love that event. You guys do such a great job.
Thank you.
All right. So Christine, you're next. What is your favorite Florida tennis moment of 2022?
Okay, so my favorite moment came about with our adult 65 and over age group at their sectional. So as you guys remember, we've switched over to be totally digital and app-based communication at our events. And, some were maybe a little wondering whether that group was going to be able to adapt and come together to be able to work with us in that app-based platform. And I was just so pleasantly not surprised, but it was such a pleasant experience to have those groups, because what they did was wonderful. When one didn't know how to do something, someone else, even if they were on a different team, would step in to help. They were really team oriented. They all had a super positive attitude about it. And they really jumped into the technology, and really were probably one of our most fantastic groups with using the technology. So for me, it's just inspirational to see these folks who are playing tennis in their 70s and their 80s and even beyond. And then also they're willing to learn about all the new technology that we're using, and they jump right in, and they just really are great role models for us. So I think that was my favorite moment of this year.
Love it. Our 65 and over super tech users that we have now. We love it.
Yeah, super techies. I liked it.
All right, Jason, what was your favorite Florida tennis moment of 2022?
Well, there was many, many moments in the youth world, but I want to pick one that I really enjoyed. And it happened also at a sectional championship. It was at the Bobby Curtis doubles sectional championship here in Lake Nona. And I was walking and I saw a mixed doubles match in the 12s division. And it was a very hard fought match. And at the very end of the match, it could have went either way, and it was a tiebreaker in the third set, and I believe it was 14-12 in the tiebreaker. And at the last point, the losers ran to the net and hugged their opponents.
Aww.
And for me, it just touched something in me, because that's what competitive tennis is all about. It's about competing hard, but respecting your opponents. And that was my special moment of 2022.
Awesome. Well, y'all do such a great job. And I will say the thing that I enjoyed the most this year, I like to learn. I've learned many things. I've learned how to, help with the state games. I've actually been out helping with Bobby Curtis at times. But Christine, I have to say this year was the first year that I actually helped with scheduling at a sectional adult championship. And that was such a great experience for me to actually be able to see how to reschedule after a rain delay. So I want to thank you for allowing me to sort of be there and, trust that I wouldn't screw it up that day. I had a lot of help, but it was really fun to see that part of the event. And so that moment definitely stands out for me as a good learning experience. And I have a great appreciation for all three of you and all the work that you do. So thank you for a wonderful 2022. So let's look forward at what the first quarter of 2023 has in store. So I'm going to ask you to start by giving me one word that you would use to describe Florida tennis right now. And Jason, this time I'm going to start with you.
Happy to. My word is explosive.
Mm.
And the reason why I chose that word is because we all feed off each other as tennis players. And whether it's a junior tournament or it's an adult event or even beginner classes, we all feed off each other and have that explosivity in Florida tennis. So explosive is my word for 2023.
Awesome. Danielle, what's your one word?
I would pick service. Service to me really fits what we're going to be focusing on, providing training for coaches, providing training for potential coaches, providing training for teachers so that they are equipped to introduce tennis to whoever it is in their community. And we want to do this for free, and we want to do it everywhere in the state. So that is my word.
Right, we have explosive, we have service. Christine, what one word would you use to describe Florida tennis right now?
I'm kind of with Jason. I think my word is booming. It's a continuation of our booming numbers. I think a lot of people kind of recognize that pickleball has, they've seen great growth in their sport. And I think that's wonderful, but I don't want it to be lost what kind of growth we're having in tennis here in Florida, right? We've been growing by leaps and bounds, and it's just booming. And every day I look at things and I say, can we keep going? And I think the answer to that is yes, we can, right? We can keep on going and growing by bringing in more adult beginners into the sport, by tapping into helping people play recreationally, maybe not as competitively, have a little bit more going in the fun leagues kind of aspect, or even fun tournaments. So I think for me, it's really that booming, just to keep on going and keep on trying to find ways that we can keep on bringing more tennis to people around the state.
Love it. And I'm going to add a word, which is evolving. And I think that that's something that's been happening for the last couple of years, but I think we're really starting to see that evolution and the change in the demographics we serve and how we serve people. Christine, you mentioned technology. Danielle, you're mentioning what we do it for free in the community and all the different things that we're doing, and the landscape for junior tennis is evolving and changing. And so that's my word is I definitely think we're in this evolution of sorts, which is, can be very, trying at times because there are things that bubble up, but it's also so magical to say we're evolving in a way that's going to shape what tennis looks like in the future. So that's great. Those are all awesome words. And I want to dig in now a little bit deeper to what our players, our providers, our fans can see from us in the first quarter. So Christine, I'm going to start with you this time. Can you tell us what our players, providers, and maybe even our facilities can expect to see from our adult team in this quarter?
Sure. I think we'll continue to do what we've been doing, which is provide great service in our local communities. We have local play coordinators throughout the state, so they're there to serve our players, our providers, everyone. They'll continue with that great service. Some of the things that we're doing in the first quarter specifically is we'll be hosting our NTRP regional qualifier sectionals, right? So basically all those players who advance, which are more than 600,
Wow.
had invitations to come to the sectionals here in the first part of the year. So for the providers, I think we would just be encouraging them to host more regional qualifiers to get more of these players excited about coming to sectionals. So we're hosting the sectionals for those. We'll be hosting our combos this first quarter of the year. So in general, I think it's just, I'd like to say to everyone who's involved with USTA Florida tennis that we have something for you and your club and your facility. We have something to offer. And if you want to connect with our local play coordinators, they're going to just do their best to try to meet your needs. And it might not be the same needs for everyone, but I just want to let everybody know with our beginner programs, with all these tournaments and leagues that we offer, we really do think we have something for everyone. And if we don't have it yet, if you bring it to us, we might try something new and we could start a new trend for the following year.
Love it. Danielle, I'm going to come to you next. The first quarter of the year is always a really fun and fantastic time in the community space. We have some featured pro tennis events, we have adaptive, we have grassroots programs, we have a lot. So what can our Florida players and fans expect from us in January, February, and March?
You're absolutely right. We have a lot. And I think because our weather allows us to have a lot and the rest of the country is, huddled down, cozy and staying warm inside, January, February, and March for us in Florida, we have high-end events from Delray Beach Open to Miami Open. And then we also have pro circuit events in Palm Coast, Daytona. And those platforms allow us to have activations, which we welcome anyone to attend. We have wheelchair exhibitions, showcases, tournaments. We have Kids Day events. We also have some family play events. And so we welcome anyone to come and attend if you're in the vicinity of those tournaments, of those events, to come and see what day those activations are. Also, we have Special Olympics. They have all their regional and district programs starting, and that's where we need our volunteers to come and help. And that leads us to the competitions in the districts and regions and leading up to the state games. So all the help we can have from high school players or high school students who need volunteer hours to just league players, or anyone who's in tennis and who wants to volunteer, please come on board.
Love it. Love that call out for volunteers. We can always use volunteers. Jason, gonna come to you next on the youth side. Tell us what's exciting and new that our audience can expect in January, February, and March.
Well, piggybacking on what Christine said first, which is really important for us, is providing great customer service and support to our providers and consumers. And that is ongoing. We're always there for them. Anything they need, we're here to support. And I hope when they go on our website or find out our information, they go and actually come to us, and we'd be more than happy to help. On top of that, our big programs in the youth space, of course, is junior team tennis and tournaments. We have a lot of those, and it's a wonderful products. On the JTT side, which is junior team tennis, look for a big emphasis on local play in your respective areas. Our numbers in the JTT world in Florida are continuing to rise, and it really is a great product, especially in the junior recreational space, as it really encourages level-based play. So players can have better and more fun experiences and really enjoy the game. Look for more team events in general, such as a product we call splits. It's also referred to as dynamic duo. This is where you enter a tournament with a partner and you play 2 separate singles matches and 1 doubles match. And the team that wins 2 matches will advance. And you have, it's very much like a college style play, and the players have just loved it, ate it up. And we'd like to provide that in every level going forward. So look for that in the first quarter. And of course, we sanction over 800 junior tournaments. So you're going to be able to find a tournament near you. And if you don't, let us know, because we will continue to get them out there. But like Christine said, we're lucky to be in Florida, where we have great weather all year round.
And just to piggyback on Jason's comment there, I know we do hear occasionally in the north side of the state, not enough events. If you're interested in hosting a tournament and you are in the northern part of the state, please reach out anytime. That is the main hindrance from actually having more tournaments, is just finding locations where people want to host them. And we certainly are very open to that. And, our team would be very much favorable to helping.
And Lori, if I can add,
Mhm.
with the national alignment that we have now, it's been helpful because players in that North Florida area can go into Alabama and the southern area to play tournaments and vice versa.
Yeah.
So that has been helpful to get more participation in that North Florida area.
Just bring your jacket and your ski cap in the winter time because it is a little chilly up there. I just want to. It's chilly right now, as you can see from our attire. All right. Last question for each of you. For anyone who's tuning into this podcast who wants to play in or support any of our fantastic play opportunities in the first quarter of this year, how can they connect or participate? And so, Jason, I'll start with you and we'll go around the horn.
Well, in terms of participating, it's very easy. Just going onto our website, which is USTAFlorida.com, and looking at our tournament area, or registering for our tournaments or our junior team tennis area is as easy as it gets. You can even get information on, what product would be good for you. And like Christine said, if we don't have that product for some reason, please let us know and we will get it for you, and we will find out how we can get it for you. As it relates to getting involved as a volunteer, we have volunteer opportunities that you can also find on our website in the tournament and junior team tennis space, especially as an assistant or a court monitor. And those are all things related to that tournament area, which is a lot of fun to get involved in. And that kind of stems. We had one volunteer, actually, here's a quick story, that loved it so much, he started following the officials around and became an official. So
wow.
you just never know what's going to happen in that volunteer world when you start getting involved and engaged.
It's so true. And considering myself a volunteer at all of your events, you and Christina and Danielle, I can tell you that it's really fun. And, we have staff on site who really support everything that you're doing, but we do try to make it a fun experience. So come on out and join us. Danielle, I'll go to you next. What can someone do if they want to support or play in any of these opportunities that you have going on in the community space in Q1?
Well, first off, I would definitely go to our calendar, which is our calendar of events, which is on our website, because we list as many programs as we can that are happening in the community, whether they're a Love Serving Autism program, a Special Olympics program. We want everyone who is looking either to play or to volunteer to be aware of what's happening in their community. So that is the calendar to visit. But also, if you wanted to participate in any of the activations, whether it's Delray Beach Open or Miami Open, their websites as well will have all the information and the links that you need, which we also link up to on our website.
Perfect. Christine, bring us home here. What can our audience do if they want to get involved with all of the fun things happening on the adult side this quarter?
So I think for our group, the best thing to do is to go to the USTA Florida website, and up at the, as one of the drop downs, you have local play. So if you click on local play and you search for your county, you come to your county page, which shares with you who the contacts are for your county, because we have a local play coordinator who's serving really the majority of the state when it comes to adult tennis. You can connect with their schedule for their leagues. You can connect with some of the rules and the regulations, maybe not the favorite thing for everyone, but more than anything, I think it's that connection to your local play coordinator who can find you those opportunities to either play in one of our programs, or better yet, like you all said, volunteer. We've got our Love to Learn, Love to Play program that is just a wonderful way for adult beginner players to come into the sport. We need volunteers who want to help these people have a great community to come into. We try to help them have a really nice soft landing in our sport, get them really acclimated and having a lot of fun before they get started in more of the serious competition.
Mhm.
So I think the best way to connect is through those county pages where you can see exactly what's happening in your own county and connect with your local play coordinator. That's the best advice I would have.
I think that's excellent advice. And just to piggyback on that as well, we have all of our staff listed on the website, and we do work very hard to live that motto, here to serve. You can contact any of our staff at any time, and we'll make sure you get to the right people who can help you with your needs. So, again, don't be shy. We love when people reach out and say they want to get involved. This is just a very brief look at the programs in play side of the business. We'll have much more to come in all of our podcasts this year and on our website and our weekly e-news. So be sure to stay tuned for more exciting news. But for today, I just want to thank my guests, Christine, Jason, and Danielle. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for joining me on the podcast today. And just thank you for being the best team in Florida tennis. I really appreciate y'all.
Thank you, Laura.
Thank you, Laura.
Happy New Year.
For those of you who are listening to the audio only version of this podcast, please check out USTA Florida's YouTube channel or any of our social media where you can find the full video version. And as we mentioned earlier, be sure to check USTAFlorida.com for more news, information, and updates. And you can find all episodes of the Here to Serve podcast, including upcoming topics and guests, at USTAFlorida.com/here to serve. Thanks for tuning in. Happy New Year and have a wonderful day.